गणानाम् त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविम् कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजम् ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्रयवतु गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम्।
It's an evening for all of us to come together to relive our most cherished memories and the best of moments spent with Bhagwan, to reminisce about His glory, His message to our students, and to the humanity at large, and to make an earnest attempt to live by them. On this occasion of the 141st Samarpan session, with Bhagwan's divine blessings, we are indeed privileged to host Sister Yogini Suvarna, a remarkable individual whose journey exemplifies the transformative power of Sai Educare and selfless dedication. An accomplished professional and lifelong spiritual practitioner, Sister Yogini brings a unique perspective shaped by her rich experiences within Swami's educational ecosystem. An alumna of the Sri Satya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, Sister Yogini's path has been illuminated by her unwavering commitment to spiritual growth and community service. From her early days as a Bal Vikas student to her current roles as an educator and organizational leader, her life reflects the profound teachings of our beloved Swami. Her melodious voice, a divine gift, has graced numerous spiritual gatherings, creating moments of profound spiritual connection. As an educator, administrator, and guide, Sister Yogini continues to inspire countless individuals through her multifaceted contributions. She continues to serve Sai organization as West Zone Coordinator of Sri Satya Sai Vidya Jyoti and holds the position of Chairperson of School Managing Committee of Sri Satya Sai Vidya Mandir, Dharmakshetra. A special mention about Sister's incredible contribution in compiling the Sri Satya Sai Bhagavatam, a collection of Samarpan talks rendered in Dharmakshetra. She was instrumental in mobilizing a team of dedicated Anantapur sisters who transcribed these talks with much devotion and love for Swami. Currently, Sister Yogini serves as the principal of Thakur Public School, Mumbai. As a child, Swami was introduced as God to her by her parents, and her earliest prayers were taught to her in the Bal Vikas classes. Swami was the only God that she knew then, and from then on, the journey within, as she calls it, began. From praying to God since He was the all-powerful and trusting Him for these powers, spending all her vacations in Parthi, even as she was as young as 1.5, admiring His beauty as He glided through the sands of Parthi and feeling mesmerized and awestruck, a sublime feeling of peace and joy, adoring Him as the Almighty, the only God, crying out in prayer when in trouble, the Dvaita philosophy, as she calls it, a clear demarcation between the Lord and the devotee, to finally becoming His student of the Institute, when her life completely revolved around Swami and the soul-satisfying opportunity she got to sing for Him and bask in His physical proximity and thundering discourses, and slowly moving towards Vishishta Dvaita, to ultimately experiencing Him, the only Him, as Advaita, post the Mahasamadhi through scintillating experiences she had. I consider myself fortunate to have been able to steal some of her precious time and extract gems of wisdom, advice, and undoubtedly her treasure trove of experiences. There's just so many, since she's practically lived all her life with Swami as her master. Her descriptive style of narration is so immersive that one can literally visualize the entire series of events. Sister, you're certainly Swami's chosen instrument, and we can't wait to embark on this journey as you take us through your wonderful memories of Swami's divine glory, prema, and mahima. Over to you, Sister Yogini.
Loving Sai Ram, to our dearest Bhagwan, seated right now, here before us, here before me, here before all of you, within you, without each one of you, up, down, like he says, every bit of the space around us is only him alone. Beginning with a small visualization, taking all of us to our dearest and sweetest Lord Ganesha, seated at Parthi, taking you there. Let us visualize him and take his blessings to embark on this small journey we have, wherein we pray to him, the Vignaharta, to take away any obstacles of I and mine that arises in the mind of the speaker and the listener. I pray to Mother Saraswati, let her bestow her knowledge, her wisdom on the tongue that embarks to speak the glory of our most beloved Lord. I pray to our most beloved Bhagwan, our Guru, with this small prayer. Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Akhanda Mandalakaram, the one who is there in this entire universe, Akhanda Mandalakaram, this universe, Vyaptam Yena Characharam, living and non-living, the one who is there in every bit of this entire universe. Tatpadam Darshitam Yena, the one who shows us this beautiful universe in which he is there in every bit of it. Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Just before coming down here, I went up to have darshan at our beloved Lord's home. And as I took namaskar and sat for a few moments there, visualizing him sitting over there in front, I just got this small message that I'm just the flute, the hollow flute. Without the beautiful breath of the Lord, what is the flute? Just nothing, just nobody. The flute, even if it is made of the best and the best of barks of a tree, best in quality, but of what use is it if the divine breath of the Lord does not flow in it? Just before I came here, I got a message from my parents. My pranams to my parents who have been my guiding light all throughout until now. One message before I came up to the podium from my parents. If Yogini speaks, Swami does not speak. If Swami speaks, Yogini does not speak. You can just imagine, from the time we are born, our parents show us this path which always reminds us the truth about him. With this, after giving the initial prayers to all my beloved Swami, Guru, parents, I wish to share with you the small, little, loving moments, Sai moments of my life. Beginning with birth. All these are little stories in my life, and I would like to connect it to a song, because most of us here, and even I, consider myself more of a singer than a speaker. So I thought it is better I pick a song which brings out the message of this little Sai moment. Beginning with birth, let's go back to the year 1973. Now, my mother was pregnant with me, and she had visited the doctor. My parents had gone to the doctor. When she showed herself to the doctor said, something is not perfectly fine with this baby who is to come. So that was the message, and that was the report, and it was worrying my parent about, it was the first child, so how would the baby be? There was a kind of a tension in the back of their mind. The months went forward, and mother had to go to Mangalore for the delivery. They reached the Mumbai Santa Cruz airport, the domestic airport, and both of them were waiting there. The flight got delayed. It was a 9:30 a.m. flight, and the flight got delayed. They were waiting until 12:30 p.m. As they waited there, they saw Indra Devi walking towards them. They went up to her because they had just seen her recently in Swami's visit to Mumbai. They have seen Indra Devi and also read her book. So they identified her and they walked up to her. As she saw my mother, she does not know my parents, but as she saw my mother, she said, something is wrong with you. I have come directly from Puttaparthi. I am having a Japamala, Rudraksha Japamala. You hold it. Swami has created it. You hold it in your hands. She gave the Rudraksha Japamala to my mother. My mother held it in her hands. And she also said, Swami has created this little box of vibhuti. And she said, you have some right now. She took out a small piece of paper and she put the vibhuti in that paper. And she told my mother, you have it when the delivery pains begin. That's all. Both of them went to Mangalore. Had the flight gotten delayed, not delayed, the question comes, who did that? Who delayed the flight? For Indra Devi to get the Rudraksha Mala to my mother's hand for the blessing. So they went back to Mangalore for the delivery. And at the 8th month or 9th month, when they did the testing there, the doctors there said everything is normal. There is no issue at all. When the delivery pains began, my mother took the vibhuti which Swami had created and given it to her. Now let me tell you this. The vibhuti entered my bloodstream even before this body came into this earth. His blessing reached this body through my mother even before I came into this planet. How beautiful is the love of our Lord. Here is a song to share this, which I feel all of us feel all the time about him. मेरा जीवन तेरे हवाले प्रभु, इसे पग पग तू ही संभाले, पग पग तू ही संभाले से हो, पग पग तू ही संभाले। मेरा जीवन तेरे हवाले प्रभु, इसे पग पग तू ही संभाले। Doesn't he at every moment take care of each one of us, every bit of our life? Let's go to the next Sai moment. I'm coming down more to the present. Just a couple of years ago, maybe 1 or 2 years ago, I was at my parents' home and opening up some old boxes, cleaning up, and throwing what we don't need, what we do once in a while. So I found a very old diary. I was sitting with my parents. They were also doing a bit of cleaning. So I found in this box, I opened that diary and I saw something that I did not know and was an eye-opening fact for me, which got missed out, I thought somehow. The diary was maintained by my father right from the time of my birth. He had written incidents with date and what incident happened at that time. He had written about my birth, and the next entry after my birth I saw was on 5th March 1974. At Jalan Mandap, he has just written an entry. At Jalan Mandap, Swami blesses and touches baby Yogini's head. Here is Jalan Mandap in Dharmakshetra, all of us know. And you can just imagine if you don't know this fact and you come to know years later when you're all grown up, how happy you will feel. And I asked my parents, this fact was not even shared with me. It was just missed out. And it was just pure delight for me to know that for a 7-month-old baby, that's this body, Swami had lovingly touched my head. I really feel blessed with that. And I come up with a little song for that. I keep feeling your love in me over and over again. I keep feeling your love in me over and over again. And it's sweeter and sweeter as the days go by. Oh, what a love between my Lord and I. My Lord and I, my Sai and I. My Sai and I, my Sai and I. Let's go to the next little Sai moment. When I am a small little child, let's go to Puttaparthi, when there was no Kulwant Hall, there were no arches, there were just sands. And if you see these old photographs of Puttaparthi, you will see this white compound wall with white lotuses there. Okay, I'm taking you back to those days. So we were little children, me and my sister. Mother was, both of us, I was 5 years old and she was 3. And both of us were with father on the gents side. Right at the mandir that you see now, right in front, there was a small beautiful circle with a Ganesha. On this side is the ladies, on the other side the gents. And next, Swami just came beautifully for darshan. Everything is open air, okay? There's no Kulwant Hall. Swami came for darshan And just next to my mother, there was another lady with a small baby. So Swami created vibhuti and put it on the forehead of the baby. My mother lifted her hand so that sometimes Swami gives the vibhuti to the people next to whoever is sitting next to them. So Swami said no. Okay? At that time in her mind, she was praying to Swami and saying, I just wish my children were sitting next to me, that is both of us, myself and my little sister, 5 years, 3 years old, so that he would have even done the tilak to both of us. This was in her mind. He went across to the gents side. My father and 2 of us were there. On the same day, he created vibhuti to someone next to my father and applied vibhuti tilak to both of us. She did not know it has happened on the other side. It was only after darshan that they exchanged this entire news and they felt so happy about it. She just had a prayer and he heard it. How powerful is this mantra of vibhuti, which we chant at the end of every bhajan. Let me chant for us to remember the meaning of and the purpose of the application of vibhuti to us blessedly done by the Lord Himself. Paramam pavitram baba vibhutim paramam vichitram. We don't know how powerful it is. Leela vibhutim paramartha ishtartha takes us to the highest that we need to achieve. Moksha pradhanam baba vibhutim idamashrayami. I surrender to the Lord who has blessed us with this vibhuti blessings. Going ahead with the story. Now, our childhood was a lot of the time at Puttaparthi throughout the vacations. The last day of school would be the time we would set out immediately and go to Puttaparthi. How did we spend our time? Swami would come out very early. I'll just spend a few minutes on our childhood here at Puttaparthi and also in Mumbai. Why? There is a reason that a human being goes through a transformation process. And this educare, which Swami has brought into our lives, right from the time we were very small children, from the time I was 5 years old. Mother started Bal Vikas class at home because we were living in the east and the Bal Vikas classes were in the west. So it was difficult to take 2 little children and go all the way to Andheri West. So it was suggested to her that you start the Bal Vikas class at home itself. And along with 2 of us, the whole lot of children in the community, in the society and in the nearby Andheri East, she got trained. My mother and father were my first Bal Vikas gurus. Why I'm bringing this point is to understand that this period of time from 5 years to 15 years was a very transformative time where unknowingly values were soaked into all of us. Along with his darshan, his sparshan, his sambhashan, which happened time to time whenever we came to Dharmakshetra, whenever we went to Puttaparthi. Let me first do the part at Parthi. How did we spend our time at Puttaparthi when we went as children? Going to those days, my first visit was, parents told me when I was just 1.5 years old. That must be around 1974, 75. At that time where Lord Ganesha's mandir is there right now, if you face that, on the left side there was a Ganesha shed. And that was the only accommodation available. And there was nothing else. So we had to carry everything that we needed as a family. Mother, father, and 2 of us little children. At that time there was only me. So right from the mattress or the bedding or the clothes and the bucket and the mug, and because the child was small, because I was small and when my sister came in, mother would even carry the stove. You know the kerosene stove? She would carry the stove in the bucket so that she can boil milk and give the little ones, that is two of us. So this was the way in which we went to Parthi, spent our time there, and the time of darshan was early in the morning. Even before darshan, you can imagine the children of today waking up early. My father would wake us up before 4:30 in the morning, because at that time, Swami would live there on the first floor and we were allowed pradakshinas. So our job was to complete 12 pradakshinas. There used to be the big bell, the Aarti bell which is there now. It would ring a certain number of times, 12 times. And by that time you have to finish your pradakshinas so that Suprabhatam would begin. This was our life as little children. Going around Swami, he's there on the first floor. So taking the pradakshina, enjoying the pradakshina. We did not know anything more than that he is God. Mother and father, like sister had introduced me. Mother and father have told us, Bhagwan is God. There is no other doubt about it. So he is God. There is no other form to worship. There is only his form to worship. So he is the one where we did the pradakshina. And after pradakshina, the Suprabhatam and the rest of the darshan, beautiful darshan. I also remember times when we would just sit there. I wouldn't understand when Swami would just come by. Looking at his face, I would feel a surge of emotions. I would have tears in my eyes. But remember, I'm a child. As a child, what would you understand about divinity? It was just an experience that used to happen by looking at him. It was the purity of the moment that you see him and you get tears in your eyes, even as a child, with no explanation for what was happening. That was how beautiful it was. So, like we say, Maje Mahera Pandhari, Maje Mahera Puttaparthi. Maje Mahera Puttaparthi, Ahe Chitravati Chatiri. Maje Mahera Puttaparthi, Ahe Chitravati Chatiri. Similarly, coming back to this particular photo and incident, let me just tell you where it happened and what was it. This is right here, this hall. Okay? I'll take you back to a little before this happened. We were all, this is Swami's visit at Dharmakshitra, and usually Jalan Mandap, which is down there would be a pandal and it would be filled with devotees. Okay? Gents on this side, ladies on this side. And at that time, Bal Vikas children were made to sit in the front on this particular day. And Swami was on top in Satyadeep. Somebody came down and made around 15-20 of us stand up. And we didn't know where we were going. We were told to come up to Shantideep. So around 15-20 of us Bal Vikas children got up and started walking towards Shantideep. We came up these same stairs. And when we came up, we just realized that there was an exhibition put around in this entire hall. It was a Bal Vikas exhibition. There were tables all around this hall. No one was there. And we were told that Swami would come there and we have to stand one per table and explain to Swami about the exhibit. So this is that picture of that exhibition. And at the end of the hall, the last pillar, that there was a table and I was standing there. Just here itself. Now they told us, they explained to us what the exhibit was so that when Swami comes, we will explain to Swami about the exhibit. Now, I was standing there waiting And it was, Swami had not yet come. We all knew what we had to say. And suddenly, one or two uncles, they were looking around. They came walking around. They called me. They called me out and brought me here in front of this door. There was one more child. They called two of us. Then afterwards, they sent her back. They instructed me that Swami would come from here, this door, and I am supposed to give him a bouquet of flowers. Now, one of the so many, look at the random chance. I have got nothing to do with it. I have nothing in my mind. It is he who decided that someone has to come and give him a bouquet of flowers. So I was just standing here, let me complete that entire incident, right in front of the door, and we were waiting for Swami. There were not many people, only students were there, very few Bal Vikas gurus were there, and we were waiting for Swami. Suddenly, the outside, there was a hush. You know when Swami comes, everything becomes quiet. So there was a hush. I'm just experiencing the same thing again as I'm talking to you. And I'm standing there with the bouquet, ready, and so beautiful. He just climbs up these stairs, and he enters this door, and he walks up till here. And I stand there, I take 2 steps ahead, give him the bouquet, just as you see, and take namaskar. This is one Sai moment which I have cherished throughout. And I would like to break into a small song that all of us know. You can all sing. We can all sing together. Love is my form, truth is my bread, bliss is my food. He has no reason. He has no reason. Love is my form, truth is my bread, bliss is my food. My life is my message, expansion is my life. My life is my message, expansion is my life. No reason for love, no season for love, no birth, no death. No reason for love, no season for love, no birth, no death. There is no reason for his love. There is just no reason, no season for his love. It just comes, flows. Each of us have experienced this. Each one of us. Let us, when I say his love, I do not talk about his physical form. You all know what I'm saying. There is no reason for his love. All of us have experienced his love at some moment or the other. We know, yes, this is him in my life. Yes. Another small Sai moment. Again, I'm taking all of us down to the Jalan Mandap. This was a Mumbai visit, another Mumbai visit. And at that time, Swami would give away the Bal Vikas prizes. So there were little medals that he would give. Bal Vikas students were sitting right in the front in Jalan Mandap. And yeah, this is a photo where you can just picturize how it would be. This is not that picture. I guess I was a little smaller than this, but we used to just sit like that and sing for him when Bal Vikas Bhajan slot was there. So it was in this area in Jalan Mandap, and Swami would be standing just a bit ahead of there. They would call out our names, and we would go and take the medal from Swami. I think I would have got for singing in Bal Vikas the medal. They called my name. I went. Swami was standing there, and now we were first instructed to take the medal and then do the namaskar. Okay? So now, something amusing happened. He was giving the medal. I was almost going to take it. So then he put his hand up. Then I was confused that he wants me to take namaskar first. So I bent down to take namaskar, and halfway down, he's putting his hand down. So this happened at least 2 times where he's putting his hand up. So I thought, okay, now first namaskar. So I'm going down. Halfway down, he's putting his hand down. So it was a little amusing. It's just a small, loving moment with our Lord, which I have a vivid memory of. Then finally I decided, it's okay, I will take namaskar first. Then I bent down and took namaskar and then took the medal. That's all. That's a lovely Sai moment that I have in my life. A loving time with the Lord. So the song, I decided to go for the feet. चरण कमल बंधो साईनाथ के चरण कमल बंधो चरण कमल बंधो साईनाथ के चरण कमल बंधो चरण कमल बंधो साईनाथ के चरण कमल बंधो चरण कमल बंधो साईनाथ के चरण कमल बंधो. Do you want the medal or do you want my feet? Do you want the medal or do you want my feet? The medal can be anything in life. It can be anything in life. It's a choice that he asks us to make between something else that he's giving and his own feet. Our choice, his feet. Okay, this is just a glimpse of the way Balvika's class would happen. The next, brother. Okay, here, this is in Mumbai. There's a small, again, sweet Sai moment that happened here. Would like to share it with you. These are all Balvika students. This is the Vallabhbhai Patel Stadium, which is currently now in Worli, the NSCSC, the sports center. So it was earlier called Vallabhbhai Patel Stadium. And you can see the number of Balvika's children. The entire Mumbai Balvika's students were supposed to perform in front of Bhagwan. Okay, I'll take you through the preparation fast little quickly. So we would practice here in Dharmakshetra and various venues. Earlier, our rehearsals would happen. Long before he came, we started practicing. And then the costumes, everything, you know how it is when there is a program. And on that particular day, we were all spread in the Vallabhbhai Patel Stadium. And the music was playing. And we were all in various dance groups. Now, I was in one small group. And in one particular, Swami was seated on the stage. Swami was very far. The stadium is so big. And there were so many of us everywhere. Physically, he was so far from us. Okay? Now, in this circle of mine, we had to sit down and do a particular dance pose. What was a dance pose? We had to sit and twist back our leg upwards and hold it with the hand. It was a kind of a Bharatanatyam pose. Okay? You twist your leg up and you hold it. Now, in our palms, there were these stars and there were these battery-operated lights and it was happening at night. Okay? It was a planet and star kind of a program. So we had this, we put on all the lights just looking so beautiful. Now I sat in that circle and twisted my leg up. And you know how the music runs. The music runs for a few seconds for that position and then you have to go to the next position, get up and move to the next position. Now what happened was when I did that twist, I got a very bad muscle pull of the leg. I hadn't yet experienced muscle pull. I was still a child and I didn't know how to handle it. No parents around. Nobody to ask what to do. Music is running, I don't know what to do. And I don't know whether I'll be able to get up and go. Actually, there are so many children. But whether I get up or do not get up does not matter because there are so many children. But we don't think of it when we are children, right? What do we think? Oh God, now what? So what did I do? The Balvika's training worked. What parents said worked. Pray. He was seated there so far. At those few moments of the muscle pull that I had in my leg, immediately I prayed to Swami. Swami, let this go when the music count finishes so that I can run with the rest of the children and go to the next part of the dance. I did not know what would happen. But as the music flowed, my muscle pull also left it. It was normal. I had no pain. From excruciating pain, there was just no pain. And at the right moment, when the music came, I could go and dance. What happens to the mind of a child? Go back to the mind of a child. Prayer, problem, no one to help you. You send out a prayer. He's sitting physically so far. Does it matter? No. You pray. What did Swami teach from that to a child, from that very small incident? You pray, he listens, he helps. You pray, he listens, he helps. This was something that came into my mind as early as a child and remained with me with his blessing. And therefore, this little song, Moko kaha dhoonde re bande, where are you looking for me? Moko kaha dhoonde re bande, मैं तो तेरे पास में. I'm nowhere. I'm not so far. I'm not sitting there. I'm not above. मुझको कहाँ ढूंढे रे बंदे. Immediate response. Why? I don't need to search anywhere. He is there. Just when you need him, he is there. Let's go to the next little story, next Sai moment. Taking you to my school now. If you come up, when you're coming up to Dharmakshetra on the road, you see a school called Kanosa High School. The ones who are here, you can see. And you can see a gate. When you're coming towards Dharmakshetra, there is a gate on the left side, says Kanosa High School. The story is around there, okay? So let me tell you one more small thing. We were blessed that whenever Swami would come and stay in Dharmakshetra, he would stay around 10 to 15 days. And every day there would be darshan in the morning and in the evening. Now because school was on, we would miss the morning darshan. And me and my sister, after school, in our school uniform and with the school bag, we would just walk down for darshan, for the evening darshan. This is something amazing. You go from school for darshan. So we used to walk down and come to Jalan Mandap for darshan. But now I'm taking you back to school. What happened then? After one of those visits, Swami was supposed to go back to the airport. My father told me, okay, Yogini, listen. During your break time, around that time, Swami will leave from Dharmakshetra and pass by your school gate to go to the airport. You come with your break box and stand at the school gate so that you can have darshan. Now, as father says, of course, we want to have darshan. So the break bell rang, I remembered, took my break box and immediately ran to that particular gate and was waiting for him. Ate my break, was waiting for him. Because it's a short stretch of the road, I know that I cannot miss even a bit of the movement of the car. I waited for the whole break. Behind me, all the children are playing. You know how it is break time in school. Lot of noise. But I was waiting, looking outside. One small song before I continue the rest. This song is just coming now to my mind. At that time, I was just waiting. Darshan do दर्शन दो, दर्शन दो, दर्शन दो, दर्शन दो साई भगवान, दर्शन दो साई भगवान. So was I waiting, and the break bell rang, and all the children were going back into the school building. I was looking back to see how much more time I have. Before the last child goes, till that time I still have time to wait for him to come. And he didn't come yet. I was still waiting. The last child went into the building. Then the captains who are on duty, she came and she started calling me. Come, come. I looked at her and I didn't know what to do. Father said, he's going. I have to go back. What to do? I just looked for the last moment, one last glance before I would just go. And there glided the car. There was no divider at that time as it is there now. It was just a single road. There glided the car. He wasn't looking at me, but he was on this side, on the back seat. And I had a beautiful darshan. That's a vivid memory in my mind. All of us know special darshans are always there, embedded in our mind. Just a fraction of a second. And then, that's the faith. These small instances in our lives are the foundations in which we know that faith is built. He will come. He will come. You wait. He will come. This one is done. Yeah, next. Now this one, you know, is Dharmakshitra again. So many stories of childhood around, in and around Dharmakshitra and Prashanti Nilayam. So this one is at Dharmakshitra. You can see it's just next to Satyadeep. The lawns just below Satyadeep were where the girls, Balvika's girls were seated. And on the opposite side, on front, was where the boys were seated. So, nothing major happened here. But I just wanted to tell you that this particular day, where we prepared for the song, I was in my 10th standard, and this was the day when we had our chemistry board exam. Now you can imagine, I had practiced on the keyboard for the whole program, and long before, and my board exam dates fell at the same time when the program was supposed to be. He makes you choose difficult choices. Board exam, Swami, board exam or Swami? Board exam. No, Swami. So the choice was him, and luckily, Kamla auntie also was really aware that I have to rush for the board exam. This was luckily early in the morning, and my exam was a little later, and we finished the program. I played the keyboard. I'm sitting there. You may not be able to see. So I'm sitting there. We played. It was a normal program in front of Swami. But what I wanted to say is, he makes us choose your own work, his work. Of course, he tells us not to distinguish between work. But sometimes he makes us make the choice, the difficult choice, and sees, what do we do? What do we choose? Of course, if we choose him, he takes care of everything else. He took care of everything else. And I came out with flying colors just because it was board exam and I had to do a program. Did not make a difference. That's the beauty. We know this. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. I will take care of everything. You make your choice. I will take care of everything. That's what he took care. Now, another little incident that happened at my home. We were at home. Now, we had a habit for many years, habit or what do you say, kind of a practice, not a habit, a practice for many years in our home that 4 of us, mother, father, and 2 of us sisters, from 7:30 in the evening to 8 o'clock, we would do bhajans. Half an hour of bhajans. Let me tell you why I'm bringing this here. This was for so many years, from the time we were little till even I think till I got married. Everyday practice. The half an hour became 1 hour, sometimes even more. But half an hour was definitely there. And I would, either myself or my sister would be at the harmonium. Father would sit next to me on my right side. Mother would be behind me. And my sister would be behind father. This is the way we would sit and do our bhajans. Now, one particular day, this was somewhere around, I was in my teens, I don't remember exactly when. There was a phone call. We were doing bhajans. In the middle of the bhajan, there was a phone call. We don't get up and take phone call. At that time, we had those dial tone phones, okay? So, it was not like a mobile where every other time you pick up. If somebody is calling, there had to be a valid reason somebody is calling on the landline. So, since I was at the harmonium, mother got up, she picked the phone, and it was for father. So father got up and went towards the phone. Now there was a knock on the door. Our neighbor's little daughter, she knocked on the door. So my sister got up and she went to open the door. As soon as 3 of them got up, the small lamp chandelier which was hanging on top fell down with a crash and the glass split everywhere. Phone call, mother went, it was for father, father went, door knock, sister got up. In that same instant, Namasmarana, thinking of the Lord at all times, He's there to protect you. He was the one who timed everything. If His grace is there, nothing can ever happen. Even if it has to happen, it will happen. It happened. But because His grace was there, nothing happened to anyone. Everyone was just fine. I would like all of us to sing this at this point of time. We know this song. Why fear when I am here? Why fear when I am here? So says Baba, Satya Sai Baba, Satya Sai Baba, my Lord. So says Baba, Satya Sai Baba, Satya Sai Baba, my Lord. Why fear when I am here? Why fear when I am here? That is the power of His name. At all times, we just have to take His name and not bother how much fear we live, how much of anxiety we have in our lives. How much we fear when we step out of the house, when we have to go there, when we have to do this, how much of anxiety we have, how much of fear we have in our lives. He doesn't want us to carry the fear. His name is enough. The rest He takes care of. After the childhood days, I got admission in Anandpur College and my father was motivating me to go there. And we studied there in the college. And one small instance from the college, at that time I started from my 11th standard, I joined there after my 10th. I started singing because I was in the bhajan group and we would go to Parthi for Akhand Bhajan and Shivratri. And we would sing bhajans like you see. At that time it was solo singing. We would not sing together. It would be solo singing. Now what happened was, it was Akhand Bhajan and the evening session was over. And you know that mics go off after some time, around 8 o'clock. And mics had not yet gone off. But after an hour after Bhajan begins, Swami would go up. He would live just above the Bhajan Mandir at Prashanti Nilayam. So on the first floor. He would go up and would come back out only the next morning. Akhand Bhajan would go on for 24 hours, but he would come back only the next morning for darshan. So he had gone up, and bhajans were still on, mic bhajans were on. And it was my turn to sing, and I sang Sai Om, the same second bhajan which we sang today. Sai Om, Sai Om, Sai Om. Tan man pran mein Sai Om. So everybody was singing, okay? I barely started the song, and just at the gent side on top, if you have been inside the Bhajan Mandir, there are these windows on the first floor, okay? There are 3 blocks of windows on the first floor. He came out from there to look down. I'm with the harmonium and singing, and the problem is I usually keep the mic on this side. That's how I'm used to. So I'm singing here, and everybody starts looking up, so I see what's happening. And he's there on top. Tan man pran mein Sai Om, Sai Om, Sai Om, Sai Om. Just visualize everything. He's looking down. The whole mandir on the right side is filled with boy students. On this side, right up till Krishna Arjuna, all the girl students. Shayan sapan mein Sai Om. He keeps walking. He walks to the next part. Gagan pavan mein Sai Om. Shayan sapan mein Sai Om. I'm singing and looking up. Where has he reached? In between the song. Nayan nayan mein Sai Om. This line has an imprint in my mind. This entire bhajan, whenever I sing, I just replay whatever happened on that particular day. Nayan nayan mein Sai Om. Everyone seated in the hall, everyone is looking at him. He is looking at everyone. And he walks up this way and he walks back again during the song, very slowly, going right up to the last window and going back. Nayan nayan mein Sai Om. Janam maran mein Sai Om. Sai Om, Sai Om, Sai Om. So this is another beautiful Sai moment. Sai Om. You call, he listens, he comes. He looks at the intensity of the heart. He listens, he comes, definitely. Another sweet Sai moment, small one, but sweet, because these are the ones that we have in our memories right now. It was in my B.Ed year, and Swami used to give us saris, distribute saris. So we would be seated in 2 rows, facing each other, 2 rows. Okay, there would be many 2 rows like that. And there would be either a teacher or a senior student, like a postgraduate or a B.Ed, would hold the pile of saris for Swami, and Swami would be distributing. Nothing major happened, but I'm just telling, I was one of those lucky souls to hold that entire pile. I got that only once in my lifetime. So I was holding it out for him. And the amusing memory in my mind is, for some part of the line, I was walking backwards and he was walking forwards. He would take the sari and give it to the students, take another sari, give it to the student. And for some part, when the line turned, he would be walking backwards and I would be walking forwards. And he would be stepping on his robe. Why I'm saying it's so amusing, it's a small moment, but it's a lovely moment. He would be stepping on his robe. You know how his robe is. He would be stepping on his robe and I would be looking at his robe, a little anxious, when he's stepping on his robe. And the last sari was a beautiful one where, you feel his hand almost when he's just taken it from your hand. So these are some precious, precious memories of... So, just one line of a song for this. धन्य भाग सेवा का अवसर पाया. He gives all of us little opportunities to serve Him. We have to keep our eyes open and pick them up. धन्य भाग सेवा का अवसर पाया, चरण कमल की धूल बना मैं मोक्ष द्वार तक आया. धन्य भाग सेवा का अवसर पाया. It can be anything. Let's not depend on His physical form alone to serve Him. Seva, like He says always, is always available to us at any point of time if we are available for it. Another little incident, again during my B.Ed days, we had something called an outgoing interview. What's an outgoing interview? The entire batch which leaves the campus. It could be the graduates, it could be the postgraduates. All of us, every campus would have it. There would be an interview in the Bhajan Mandir, and before we go for the interview, we would practice a lot of songs so that we can sing for him. He would talk to all of us students and we would sing for him at the end. Okay? So there was this, I'm taking you to the Bhajan Mandir again. Okay, 1 second. If you go back, I'll just touch upon what those other pictures are. So these are the ones where he came to the campus. This is when Swami came. One more back, please. So this is when he came to our campus, Anandpur campus. We were sitting and singing for him. This is when he came to our library. The next. This is in our dining hall. We are all sitting there. You can see some students sitting there. So it was so beautiful to just sing so loudly Brahmarpanam for him. It was a different Brahmarpanam when he was there. It was not like a normal Brahmarpanam. And he would first taste the food and then we would eat the food. And that is in our auditorium where various prizes for various competitions he would be giving all of us. So there in the blue and red half sari, that must be in my 11th or 12th standard. Next. This is just to give you an idea of how we were either receiving pen, he would give a diary, he would give sari. So these were the lovely moments as students we had when he would distribute all these, and we had lovely Pad Namaskars, he would look at us. These were lovely moments with Bhagwan we had. You can see that off-white colored sari. That's a lovely moment. Next. This was also, these were the saris. This was in Vrindavan campus when we had lovely summer courses organized, and he would talk every day for 15 days. Every day discourse, around 1.5 hour discourse for 15 days. He would come for breakfast, he would come for lunch, he would come and bless the food. We would chant Brahmarpanam. These were lovely memories of summer course that we had. Next. This was in Purna Chandra Auditorium when other prizes also he would give sometimes on the stage. Now this one is the outgoing interview which I was just telling. So you can see it was a beautiful moment between Bhagwan and the students and the teachers. No one else would be there. So we came inside, we all first come inside the Bhajan Mandir from the front door where the boys are there, very close to the interview room door, if you know that. So then we all are inside right now, and he himself closes the door at that time. And all the windows are closed. So it's a very lovely moment. We were around 100 students across graduates and postgraduates, outgoing students. And next. So this is how he would be seated in the mandir. He would be talking to all of us. Next, we would get things blessed from him. Then he would talk for around an hour and he would speak in Telugu. This outgoing batch, most of the time advice to us girl students was about further education or how we should be when we get married and go into new families, how we should behave there, and even the best highest philosophies of life. He would make it simple and talk to us for an hour. You can see how happy he is. Next. Now what happened was, after he finishes speaking, we have in our hostel prepared the songs to be sung in front of him. Around 10-15 songs we prepare, so that we prepare more because we don't know how much will be the stop time. So around 10 to 15 songs we prepare, and we started singing for him after the interview. Now you can see some heads over here. So I'm sitting around the 4th row or something with the harmonium. Okay. Now what happened at that point of time is, I was lucky enough to be the one who was practicing, taking the practice for the entire batch, because I was the one at the harmonium. So I was blessed enough to take the practices. And every song, the harmonium player usually gives the note and we start. So I was doing that, and we finished quite a few songs. I don't even have a count, maybe 10 songs or something we sang, and he was enjoying all the songs. We were enjoying. We were not enjoying, we were crying, because it's outgoing, right? When you go out of the campus, it's like you leave your mother's house. How do you feel when you leave your mother's house and you have to get married and go to a new home? You're not going to be there as a daughter again, right? So here we are in the outgoing batch. We have those pangs of separation that we will not be his students anymore. So that was a pang, and we could not sing. We practiced so beautifully, but we were all crying and singing throughout. So that was another beautiful memory. And then I didn't know whether to start the next song. So as the song was getting over, he looked at me from there, okay? He looked at me from there, and he's asking me with the sign language. He asked me, "Is it over?" I immediately responded. I could have said yes. I don't know what made me say one more song. And he did that, and he settled back. It was such a sweet moment. Just this much communication happened. He looked at me. Do you know what I felt? I'm giving you an example. If you were standing in front of Mahavishnu, okay? The great grand Lord is standing in front of you. And there are so many other people. And he identifies you. And then he asks you a question. And there is only one-to-one communication happening between you and him in this crowd. And the great Mahavishnu settles down, finally, and listens to you after you ask for one more. One more. I'm just thinking, how could that just happen? It was a beautiful, instant, small little sweet moment that happened. It was a one-to-one connect. This is how he's telling how much of love Swami has for all of us in the same interview. Next. This is after the interview. He came down and he was in the Bhajan Mandir itself. He's distributing prasadam. Now this one is a moment I have to tell you about this. So the morning bhajans were morning or evening, I do not remember. The bhajans were supposed to start immediately after this, okay? So when the bhajans are supposed to start, the boys will come and sit on this side. And we had already filled the whole hall. So we are supposed to go on to the ladies' side, okay? So he's doing that. He's shifting all of us from the boys' side. He has told us, now you go and sit on that side. The boys will come for bhajan. The doors are closed and the boys are waiting outside, okay? And my father had gifted me a camera. I was so lucky to have my own little camera. You know the one with the reel? So we used to have those cameras. So this is the moment when he was telling everyone to go, and almost everyone had gone, but I was busy clicking the pictures. So I was on my knee and I was clicking one picture, and he's telling, come on, go to the other side. So this was one sweet moment again with Bhagwan. Next. And then you can see that. Can you see that? Swami as the mother, Swami as the teacher. Now we had all settled down on the ladies' side. And you know how it is when students are there, settling them down. Shh. Be calm. And then he himself opens the door. He opens the door, and the next picture I've not put it here, then the boy students start coming in for bhajans. So these are lovely moments we have had with him. And for this compassion and love that he has shown, another song with 2 lines. Dayaku premaku roopu daalchina daivama sai daivama దిక్కులేని దీన జనుడా బ్రువవచిన దైవమా నా దైవమా నా దైవమా నా దైవమా సాయి దైవమా. And the next Sai moment is, I'm taking you, this is again in my B.Ed year, I'm taking you to Brindavan now. Now what happened was, Kulwant Hall was being made in that year, 1994-95, at that point of time. And every year Guru Purnima would be celebrated in Puttaparthi itself. Swami would always be at Puttaparthi for Guru Purnima. But that particular year, because the work was going on for Kulwant Hall, Swami was at Brindavan. And Guru Purnima was to be celebrated at Brindavan. Now when we come, Anandpur campus would come to Puttaparthi, we would have those sheds where all of us would be put up. We would stay in those dormitories. But in Brindavan, there is no place. There is no place for accommodation. So we were told from Prashanthi Nilayam that Anandpur students, there will be no place for everybody to come and stay for Guru Purnima. Now why I'm telling you, this caused a lot of pain to us, because every festival we would go in buses to Prashanthi Nilayam. Just to set the context for those who do not know, Anandpur is around 2 hours drive from Puttaparthi. So every festival, whether it is Ganesh festival, Shivratri, Akhand Bhajan, Guru Purnima, we would travel after the festival, come back to the campus. So we were told that there is no place to stay in Brindavan. We were so ready to go to Parthi, but Kulwant Hall was being made. Now, that was a huge rejection, that we will not get his darshan. So just telling this one little instance very quickly, so that you have an idea of what kind of strong bonding Swami created in our minds, a love for him. So we started praying. If the authorities could not take us, at least we can pray to Swami. Nobody can stop us for that. So what we started was prayers. After our bhajan time, prayers became very intense. We started practicing songs. We started composing songs. We started preparing as if we have to make a presentation to him. End-to-end preparation. With no hope coming from the front that we would be called to go for Guru Purnima to Bangalore, because there's no place at all. So when we were practicing one fine day during the bhajans, after there were very few days left to go for Guru Purnima, then we got a call during bhajan. Our warden got a call, and ma'am was informed whether students will be ready to stay in the old Kalyan Mandapam. Those who have seen Brindavan, the old Kalyan Mandapam is a small place. It's very small, something like this. And having a whole campus of students stay there. We jumped at the opportunity. What does it matter? What is the space to stay there? It does not matter at all. We were so happy that we were even asked the question. And we went, we were given instructions not to carry many things because there's no space. So things like chappals, minimal clothing, minimal luggage, because you have to stay in the same place. And next to Bhagwan is here, try Brindavan, and here it is. So many instructions. So I'm just bringing it to you that everybody, the entire youth, got ready for this stay over there in Brindavan. And I do not have a pic of that, his wish. But when we practiced for the song, We were practicing in the Kalyan Mandapam, and we were practicing loudly because the next building itself is Trai. So we know Swami is there. And Swami would hear our practices. Swami would hear all the practices that we are doing. So we would sing very loudly because we were not even yet given a permission that he would listen to our song. So one day after morning darshan there, we were there just for 2-3 days. After morning darshan, he said he will come to the place where we are living. Are you just imagining around 500 young students? What all is there in the place where girls stay? Okay? All the daris, the bags, the clothes, everything. It's like Swami is going to come into our dormitory. And he said he will come in half an hour. You can just imagine what would happen at war footing. Everybody was asked to go out. Only a few had to remain inside. We rolled up all the daris, put it up next to the walls, put saris on the clothes which were hanging, so many towels, etc. Cleaned the whole place. We did not have a carpet because it was not our campus. We had to go and borrow it from the campus next door, Brindavan campus. The carpet, the Swami's chair, everything. If Swami is coming, he has to sit, right? Nothing was ready. So we made our little home ready, clean for him to come. And then he came. He came inside. There was a door in the center like this. There was a carpet put. And he came. His chair was here. All of us were sitting as close as possible to him. He spoke to us for so long, very lovingly. Those are lovely moments that we have. And then at the end, we said, Swami songs. Swami songs. He wanted to sing all those songs that we prepared for him. He said, okay. He said, no, not here. You sing it in Sai Ramesh Hall. We had prepared to sing in front of him. We had not prepared for a public performance. Sai Ramesh Hall is a public performance where you need mics, you need a mic practice, you need so many things. And he said, today evening you sing in Sai Ramesh Hall. He wanted to listen to us there in Sai Ramesh Hall. So you can just imagine the panic that set in. We were waiting for him to go for the first time so that we can settle and practice for the afternoon session. And we didn't even have keyboards because we came with our harmonium and all those simple instruments to sing for him. We did not have a keyboard. A public presentation needs a keyboard. We needed tabla. We did not have. We needed some instruments. So we got it from the next campus. And in the evening, as we were settling down and practicing, the teachers identified His Grace, one from the graduate student to give the flower to Swami, and one had to give Aarti of the two. So they were deciding between who has to do that. I could hear that, and we were too busy practicing. Then finally they said I could go and give the rose from the B.Ed and the postgraduates, and another graduate student had to give the Aarti. So that was another beautiful moment I would like to share with you. So we were sitting like this, and he was on the stage, okay? And he told us to sing the songs. We sang all the songs. And his indication of the song coming to a conclusion would be, he would push the footstool back into the chair with his feet. So that was the indication that everything has come to a close. So he pushed the footstool with his feet. And first the rose flower person has to go. I was sitting somewhere there in the audience with the keyboard. I got up. If you know Brindavan, you have to walk like that. You have to go up on the stage. And it was a blissful moment, that walk. Why? Because those few moments, he was just looking at me, walking there, walking on the stage. And I was blissfully unaware of everything because I was just focused on going on the stage and giving him the rose. And the moment I climbed up the stage, I actually remember seeing only him and no one else. I was unaware of the entire Sai Ramesh Hall audience. I could see him so beautifully and give him the rose. I would like to go to another one instance and then conclude. There are so many more, but we are short of time. So I'll just flip through the few photographs. Okay, this one itself. So this was 2009, November. Okay, 2009, November. And Swami had come to Dharmakshetra at that point of time. And we had presented at various venues. We sang at so many venues. I myself was blissfully blessed with singing or playing harmonium. And then it was Akhand Bhajan. The very next weekend was Akhand Bhajan. So I was on my journey to Prashanti Nilayam. My older son Anirudh had joined the Prashanti Nilayam school. And the younger one was around 4 years old. He was with me at home. So it was me juggling between the school, my own school where I was working earlier as a teacher, and this little child, and the tension of, yes, I cannot miss Akhand Bhajan. I have to go for Akhand Bhajan. So when I was traveling in the train, let me take you through it quickly. In the train, I was reading a book called Good Chances. At that time, while reading the book, I came across one line which said, Swami has the love of 1,000 mothers. I stopped at the line, and then I was thinking, my thought was now to him, you have a love of 1,000 mothers? If you have a love of 1,000 mothers, shouldn't I feel it? Why don't I feel it? So that was the thought. Show it. If you have a love for 1,000 mothers, you should show it. I don't feel it. So this was just at that point of time, an intense thought which came. And then I reached Parthi, and Akhand Bhajan began. You can see Swami is coming inside the mandir at that time. Akhand Bhajan was inside. And let me tell you, this kind of so-called, I don't know whether it's a challenge or a thought, if you have a love of 1,000 mothers, why can't you show it to me? I had put it to him. In that entire Akhand Bhajan, every bit of things that happened fell in sync with this. Even before Akhand Bhajan began, right outside the ladies' side before we enter, Bhajan begins at 6 o'clock in the evening. 4 o'clock we were seated outside. When we were seated outside, Swami had started coming from Yajur Mandir. When he came from Yajur Mandir, at that time we got to know that he's picking some ladies out from the audience and sending them to the Bhajan Mandir. Usually it was before birthday time, he would distribute saris. Okay? So the VIP ladies, they were all from the institute, etc. They were all coming in, around 50 ladies plus were there. They started coming in and going into the mandir. It was very rare that on the Akhand Bhajan day, he is giving out saris, because usually 4 o'clock we go in and settle all our instruments and mics, etc. But that day, these ladies went in and all the windows were closed. We were waiting outside on the ladies' side of the veranda in Prashanti Nilayam. And after some time, Swami was inside, we could see, then the door opened and these ladies started coming out, each one of them with a blue color pattu sari, silk sari. My eyes fell on the sari, and just one thought came to my mind. Lovely, beautiful silk saris. That's all. Nothing more. Beautiful silk saris. I made a note. We went in. We sang bhajans. As we were allotted, the role of songs were there. We sang as per our songs. I also sang one song. So those were lovely moments I got before Bhagwan. And then I saw, before he came inside, before bhajan began, okay? Before bhajan began, it was not yet 6 o'clock. It was 5:45 in the evening. He usually would come inside and take a round. Earlier, he would walk down the aisle, looking at both sides. Students would take Pad Namaskar. This time, he was on the chair. He came inside. And I was on the 4th row from the front. Suppose this is the aisle, the start. I was on the 4th row, and not just next to the aisle, the person next to the aisle, okay? So he started coming. It's very rare that Swami usually identifies me in an audience and talks to me. So as usual, I'm folding hands, waiting for him to have good darshan, and he would go down. He stopped there and then he started talking to me. Now he's talking to me. I realize he's talking to me. And yes, Swami, I said. I couldn't hear. I could hear a whisper. I couldn't hear what he was saying. Then he repeated the same thing second time. I said, yes, Swami, again. I couldn't hear again, second time when he said. Then the person next to him, immediately next to him, she replied, Swami. She was my bhajan partner. We sing in twos in Patti in the past recent years. So she was my bhajan partner. So she replied to Swami something that we both are singing. Then he replied something again, which I did not hear. And then he went ahead in the carpet. Now, I was waiting for her to tell me what was Swami telling. I could not, and throughout he was only looking at me, throughout the conversation, whether I heard it or no. So I asked her, what did Swami say? So what was happening was, I was not in the 9th or 10th in the list of the songs. So the chorus mics were in front of me and some other girl next to me. The chorus mics were there. And he asked, are you both singing together? That is me and the other girl. But she was not my partner because it was a chorus mic. I did not hear, so he repeated twice. And then he went, the third time when she heard that I was not able to hear my actual partner, she was next to Swami. So she said, Swami, we both are singing. And we were seated diagonally, not next to each other. So he replied and said, Ila kuchunte etla. Meaning, if you sit diagonally with your partner, how can you sing? Now the thought that came to my mind is, Ila kuchunte etla, this divine Lord is speaking to me actually after so many years. And ila kuchunte etla, what is the meaning? There definitely has to be some meaning other than this mundane singing was what was in my mind. I just realized in the next visit to Prashanti Nilayam that he meant that you have to be in sync with your own partner in life. Because somebody who discussed this with me, who's your partner in life? She asked me later, next month. Who's your partner in life? Ila kuchunte etla. What is the meaning? Your partner in life. Right now, in my family, with my kids, my husband is my partner. So ila kuchunte etla. You have to be in sync with your partner. The difference, if I can share, is always there was something in my mind that I have been married to a family of, non-Sai devotees. We put it, no? Sai devotees, non-Sai devotees. That's there in our mind. To remove that from my mind, the Divine Lord had to tell me, Ila kuchunte etla, it does not matter to him at all. It does not matter to him at all. And that was a block which was in my path towards him. Now, what happened in the next few was I was able to give him a letter on the next morning and also in the next, if you can go to the next photograph. Now, Akhand Bhajan got over, okay? The rest of the things, there were many small things, like I could give a letter, he took my letter, all those things happened. These are small things that we love, right? At the end of the bhajan, on that particular day, 2009, this was the last time that Akhand Bhajan was there inside the Bhajan Mandir. The next year it was outside in Kulwant Hall. He knows that, we didn't know that. Okay, so Bhajan, it was 6 o'clock. Usually when it was 6 o'clock, he would look at both the clocks in the front. He would look at it so that when it is 6, we can wind up the bhajan. It was 6. The bhajan was not coming to an end. It was just going on and on. And then finally, at 6:15, you can imagine the singers will understand. The fast bhajans, we start around 20 minutes before 6 o'clock or half an hour before 6 o'clock. The fast bhajans were getting depleted, and at 6:15 the bhajans got over. But he did not even leave Kulwant Hall after that. He waited for the Aarti, and after Aarti, he started waiting for prasad distribution. You know those huge steel bowls which are there with prasad. So he blessed, and he was asking us to distribute. Some of us distributed, and I came back. I saw him talking to our madams. You can see that. So he started talking there. I finished prasad distribution and came and sat. Do you know what he asked for? He is asking, who are the married ex-students? First, it's a question that you're not prepared for. So who are the married ex-students? You know that bhajan singing was done by students as well as ex-students. So many of us together were singing. But he identified the married ex-students. There were some 4 or 5 of us who were married. And our warden called us by name. This is inside Bhajan Mandir. After Akhand Bhajan, you know how Kulwant Hall was during Akhand Bhajan in 2009. Everybody is waiting after Aarti for him to go out and have his darshan while going to Yajur Mandir. And here he is talking about these things. He called us out, and we came and sat right in front of him. This one is me. You can go ahead to the next. And after asking each one of us, okay, very simple talk. What does your husband do? And then our madam also said, Swami, regarding me, she introduced my name to Swami. I'm just anybody amongst those so many ex-students, so many students. Our name, we were introduced to Swami, and then Swami did, when my name, Swami, she sang for you when you came to Dharmakshetra. Swami's eyes lit up, I still remember, lit up, and there was a smile, and he nodded his head so sweetly. And then after speaking to those 4 or 5 of us, then he called for the saris. And if you remember the previous day in the evening, when he was giving the saris to everybody, this is the same one which I'm wearing, this is the one which he has given. So, the previous evening, beautiful blue saris was there in my mind. And then he gave this sari. So this is the beautiful moment. And when I finished the entire Akhand Bhajan, that was when it dawned on me that I had placed the challenge to him. If you have the love of 1,000 mothers, why don't you show it? Believe it or not, never has Swami distributed saris in the mandir on the day of the Akhand Bhajan, immediately after Akhand Bhajan. And I was supposed to take the Udyan train, which goes at 12 o'clock night. So in that morning, there was a thought that I sent to Swami in my mind. Swami, in case you're giving saris, I'm taking the Udyan train. I had told him in the morning, early morning before I went for bhajan, in case you're giving saris, I know that he doesn't give, but some thought came, in case you're giving saris, I'm taking the Udyan train. He usually gives saris and Padnamaskar the next day after everything is settled. But this was a beautiful moment when I had to acknowledge that he does have a love of 1,000 mothers. I had to cut through a lot of details. Then you would have understood those very, very small things which made me feel, yes, he has a love of 1,000 mothers. On my way back to Mumbai, this was the thought that came to me. Just one thought, and he picked it up. Why? It's not because he's at Prashanti Nilayam. He's not there. He's with you. When I said I'm taking the Udyan train in case you're giving saris, he's not sitting there. He's just with you at all times. I have a lot more of stories, but we will continue some other time. And for everything that Swami has given us, I would like to conclude with one small song, which we sang for him. We composed and we sang for him in our outgoing interview. So this is the song, and I would like to conclude with that. What thanks can we render, Sai? What thanks can we render, Sai, for the gifts thou hast showered on us? Every day we will blossom in thy love and light. What thanks can we render, Sai? Mother Sai has the love of 1,000 mothers. Father Sai has the gives the care of 1,000 fathers. Guru Sai imparts the knowledge of 1,000 teachers. The ways chosen are innumerable. The ways chosen are inexplicable. What thanks can we render, Sai, for thy mercy and thy love? How can we repay thee? We will offer thee ourselves, for we belong to thee. Yes, we belong to thee. What thanks can we render, Sai? Loving Sai Ram to everyone.
Om Shri Sai Ram. With hearts filled with gratitude and spirits lifted by the divine presence, I stand before you to express our sincere thanks for the wonderful session we just experienced in this August gathering. We extend our earnest gratitude to our dear sister and speaker for the evening, Sister Yogini, for touching our hearts with her love for Swami. We are indeed grateful to you for having shared your cherished experiences with us, your Sai family. Being that hollow bark through which the breath of the divine flows, becoming his true instrument, reminding us the power of Vibhuti and the power of Namasmarana that aids in taking us to the highest truth and protects us, and offering ourselves to thee. The so-called random, but yet not so much Sai incidents, and reminding us there's no reason for his love, and how these become a foundation for our faith to strengthen. And when it came to choosing between Swami, his lotus feet, versus the worldly, the power of pure prayer, you of course chose Swami. Thank you so much, sister. Now, I would like to request Mrs. Yasmini Khasnas auntie to kindly come over and felicitate sister with our token of love and gratitude. Sorry, it's Yamini auntie. Thank you, Auntie. Thank you, sister. Let's take this opportunity to thank our beloved Bhagwan for making this possible. We extend our gratitude to each one of you for joining us today and basking in Swami's divine glory. Well, there's a small announcement that I wish to make. As mentioned during the introduction, we are delighted to share the book on Samarpan titled Sri Satya Sai Bhagavatam Volume 1, which is being made available to all of us just outside this hall as we exit on both sides. This book is about 400 pages hardbound, hand-stitched, filled with Swami's experiences. It's available for rupees 250 each for those who are keen to lay their hands on it. Loving Sai Ram.